An early morning swim turns into a nightmare as a shark approaches a young mother in the shallow waters at Plettenberg Bay. Her 5-year-old daughter watches in horror as the shark tears into the woman, turning the sea red all around her. Hit like and subscribe. This is Fierce. FierceOutdoor.com is your place to be for the best outdoor gear. We're not just about adventures, we're about conquering them. From the deepest valleys to the highest peaks, our equipment is designed for those who dare to challenge the wild. Join the ranks of fearless explorers with gear from Fierce Outdoor. Link in description. Kimon Bisogno lived with the love of her life, Diego Milesi, in Cape Town, South Africa. The two had met while on holiday in Ibiza. There was an instant attraction between them, but it was their love for cooking that sealed their bond. Diego was easily persuaded to move from his home in Italy to Kimon's native South Africa, and the two of them took the plunge and opened an Italian restaurant together in Cape Town. Fernando's Pizza and Takeaway was popular with locals and tourists alike. When the COVID pandemic struck, it was touch and go whether their business would survive. On top of that, the two of them now had a young daughter to take care of. Times were tough, but through their resilience and hard work, both they and their restaurant survived the pandemic. Once their business was back in full swing again and doing well, the couple and their now 5-year-old daughter Luna decided to take a well-earned break. In September 2022, they drove 300 miles from Cape Town to the picturesque coastline of Plettenberg Bay. The spectacular coastal scenery of the Western Cape was inviting, with its postcard-perfect sandy beaches stretching for miles, its turquoise waters and wooden walkways cutting across the sand dunes. It was a bank holiday weekend for Heritage Day, a day on which all South Africans are encouraged to celebrate their culture. The young family treated themselves to the luxury Beacon Island Hotel complex for 3 days. The hotel, situated along the world-famous garden route, was surrounded by the sandy beach and clear water. On September 25th, they were up early. Luna was excited about their holiday, and they decided to head to the beach first thing to beat the crowds. It was just past 7 a.m. when they wandered onto the sand. Others were already in the sea. While Luna and Diego started playing with the sand, Kimon decided to take a dip in the water. It would be a refreshing start to the day. A quick swim to wake her up before the three of them headed back to the hotel for some breakfast. But below the waves, a predator was lurking. It was swimming purposefully along the shoreline a little way out. It was a great white shark, always on the hunt for an easy meal. The infamous sardine run had ended the month before. This is a time during which the coastal waters come alive with a plethora of marine wildlife, as predators follow the sardines while they migrate southwards along South Africa's west coast, and then up its east coast. Swimming during the sardine run is considered dangerous due to the large number of sharks that are drawn to the waters as they take advantage of the likes of sea lions, which are feeding on the sardines and other fish in the area. But the sardine run was now over. Swimming was considered relatively safe again. Sharks bring in millions to the South African economy every year as they draw tourists from far and wide to experience shark diving. It's considered one of the best places in the world to view them. The thrill of being lowered into the water in a steel cage while sharks are enticed to within feet with fresh bait is considered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But shark dive operators often find that tourists are surprised by how docile the sharks appear to be. Under the water, they don't seem to be the mindless killing machines that people have been led to believe. They are often timid at first before taking a cautious bite of the food on offer. Despite this, great white sharks have earned their reputation as terrifying killers for a reason. Of all the shark attacks worldwide, great white, tiger, and bull sharks are responsible for the most. As Kimon paddled in the water, the great white shark that was patrolling the coastline altered its course. Instead of swimming parallel to the beach, it now turned toward the swimmers in the water. It spotted Kimon's legs in the shallows. She was only waist deep, just yards from her family, but she didn't know the imminent danger she was in. The shark approached, hidden beneath the surface, and then it came in for the kill. The 13-foot giant crashing through the arc of a wave. It rushed at Kimon, opening its jaws wide and bringing them down around her waist. Kimon felt a tremendous force as she was knocked off her feet. It was like being hit by a truck. In a matter of seconds, Kimon had suffered catastrophic injuries. Those in the water at the same time as her screamed. They could see the attack unfolding, the water splashing and bubbling all around the victim. The other tourists ran out of the water in panic, each fearing for their own lives. The shark's teeth had severed arteries and torn through muscle. Lifeboats from the National Sea Rescue Institute were alerted immediately and leapt into action. They powered over to the scene while Kimon's family looked on helplessly. There was nothing anyone could do. It was too dangerous to enter the water, and the attack had been so rapid that Kimon lay motionless in the water within a matter of minutes. There was no bringing back the young mother, and for her daughter to have witnessed it was both shocking and devastating. Kimon's loss would be mourned by all who knew her. She was a kind and gentle soul, always looking out for others. In fact, every Wednesday she helped run the Ob's Pasta Kitchen in Cape Town, providing nutritious and free meals for the poor and needy. That was the kind of person she was. She always put others before herself. Following the tragedy, Batu municipality shut down the beach and erected signs to warn swimmers away. There was fear amongst the community. This was the second fatality in just 3 months, and prior to 2011, 11 years earlier, there had never been any shark attacks in Plettenberg Bay. Was there a reason these attacks were suddenly on the rise? Most experts believe that this was just incredibly bad luck for those who had tragically lost their lives. With more people entering the water than ever before due to the rising interest in surfing, paddleboarding, and snorkeling, there were always bound to be more human-shark interactions. Naturally, great whites pursue prey near the coastline. The species they typically hunt include sea lions and seals that fish in the coastal waters. A silhouetted swimmer on the surface of the sea, or splashing in the shallows, can be mistaken for a sea lion coming up for air or fishing for its prey. But a mistaken bite can often prove deadly. Sharks tend to leave Plettenberg in October and head to other waters. Their presence is often dictated by orca activity, as orcas often prey on sharks. When the orcas arrive, the sharks disappear. The day after the attack on Kimon, there were discussions about a Plet shark action plan. These had begun after the previous fatal attack just months before, but nothing had been finalized. Lifeguards weren't on duty at the time of the attack because it was out of season. Local officials recommend that people only swim at lifeguarded beaches. Some suggested that shark spotters should be placed at high points along the beach, using drone technology to search for approaching sharks. As well as this, the Plet Shark Action Group investigated the costs for installing stationary cameras, specialized water monitoring software, and specialized monitors to analyze shark activity and notify authorities for beach closures. Sadly, though, for Kimon and her family, these changes came too late.